Welcome to Hockey Whiz Talks podcast. In this podcast, I'll be projecting Sweden's 2026 Olympic roster. In this podcast, I project Sweden's 2026 Olympic roster and why the players should make the team. The core players for Team Sweden include Victor Hedman, Rasmus Dahlin, William Nylander, Lucas Raymond, Gustav Forsling, Leo Carlsson, Philip Forsberg, Adrian Kempe, and Elias Pettersson. The core three on defense, Hedman, Dahlin, and Forsling, are going to log heavy minutes during the tournament. They are players that can play in all situations and are the core defensemen that Sweden will be building around for the 2026 Olympic squad. Their most dynamic offensive player is William Nylander of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who is both a terrific goal scorer and an excellent setup man, which makes him a play driver for Sweden's top line. Joining William Nylander on the top line are Leo Carlsson, the up-and-coming young star of the Anaheim Ducks, and Philip Forsberg, the star for the Nashville Predators. Leo Carlsson, the second overall pick from 2023, has all the tools to be a top-flight center in the NHL for a long time, while Philip Forsberg brings a good complement to the top line with his scoring and physical presence. The second line is centered by Elias Pettersson, center for the Vancouver Canucks, with Lucas Raymond of the Detroit Red Wings and Adrian Kempe, star winger for the LA Kings. Elias Pettersson would benefit from playing alongside both Lucas Raymond and Adrian Kempe, as their speed and talents complement him well. There are a slew of players that are certain to be locks for Team Sweden, including Jesper Bratt of the New Jersey Devils, Joel Eriksson Ek of the Minnesota Wild, Mika Zibanejad of the New York Rangers, Erik Karlsson of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Gabriel Landeskog of the Colorado Avalanche. Jesper Bratt is a dynamic and talented player, but sometimes he has some weaknesses in his game that prevent him from being a core player for Sweden. His lack of size and perceived softness could hurt his playing time, but ultimately, Bratt's talent should be enough to land him a roster spot. Joel Eriksson Ek and Mika Zibanejad are other locks to make Sweden's Olympic roster. Eriksson Ek can slot in as the third or fourth line center and can play in all situations, while Mika Zibanejad's versatility is his biggest asset, along with his big shot on the power play. Erik Karlsson rounds out the top four for Sweden's defense and has been a vital part of Sweden's team for a long time. Although he isn't the same player he once was, he can still be a valuable offensive defenseman. Gabriel Landeskog is not the same player he once was, but he brings something that other players don't have: leadership and experience in big games, as he's one of the few players on the team to win a Stanley Cup. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my scouting blog at hockeywiz777scouting.com. Listen to my scouting blog podcast on podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/hockeywiz777scouting. The other four defensemen that should be on Sweden's Olympic roster are Jonas Brodin, Simon Edvinsson, Adam Larsson, and Rasmus Andersson. Simon Edvinsson is a rising stud defenseman who will be a staple of Sweden's defense for years to come. He is already a very reliable two-way defenseman who plays on the top pair of the Detroit Red Wings. Jonas Brodin will likely have to play on the right side if he wants to make the roster. Fortunately, he's accustomed to playing on his weak side, as the left side is already stacked with Hedman, Forsling, Edvinsson, and Dahlin. Brodin serves as a shutdown defensive defenseman alongside Victor Hedman on the top pair. Adam Larsson is a reliable defensive defenseman who will bring some physicality to the back end and would pair alongside Rasmus Dahlin on the third pair. Rasmus Andersson would be the other defenseman on the roster and might find himself in the lineup should Jonas Brodin not work out alongside Hedman. Sweden's defense is the strength of the team and will have to carry the team throughout the tournament. The goalies for Sweden for the Olympic roster should be Linus Ullmark, Jacob Markstrom, and Jesper Wallstedt. Linus Ullmark and Jacob Markstrom should both be locks to make the roster due to their experience and veteran leadership. In regards to who should get the starting job, it would depend on who plays better in the preliminary rounds. Jesper Wallstedt and his Minnesota Wild teammate Philip Gustafsson will battle it out for the third spot on the roster, but ultimately the spot should go to Jesper Wallstedt, who not only is playing amazing right now, but is the future of Sweden in net. The other forwards who should make Sweden's 2026 Olympic roster are Elias Lindholm, Rickard Rakell, William Karlsson, William Eklund, and Emil Heineman. Elias Lindholm and William Karlsson strengthen Sweden's depth at center. In the case with Elias Lindholm, he can be shifted to right wing if needed as well, giving the team more flexibility. Rickard Rakell and William Eklund, along with Emil Heineman, are wingers who should also make the roster. Rakell can be used on both wings and can be used in both a top six role or a fourth line checking role, as he plays with a bit of grit and physicality. William Eklund and Emil Heineman are both unlikely to ever crack the roster unless someone gets injured. But it would be beneficial, especially for a player like William Eklund, to gain some experience from being around veteran Olympians. The projected 2026 Olympic roster for Sweden. First line is centered by Leo Carlsson with Philip Forsberg and William Nylander on his wings. The second line is centered by Elias Pettersson with Lucas Raymond and Adrian Kempe on his wings. The third line is centered by Joel Eriksson Ek with Jesper Bratt and Mika Zibanejad on his wings. The fourth line is centered by Elias Lindholm with Gabriel Landeskog and Rickard Rakell on his wings. The extras are William Karlsson, William Eklund, and Emil Heineman. The first D pair is Victor Hedman and Jonas Brodin. The second D pair is Gustav Forsling and Erik Karlsson. The third D pair is Rasmus Dahlin and Adam Larsson. The extras are Rasmus Andersson and Simon and Vincent. The goalies are Linus Ullmark, Jacob Markstrom, and Jesper Wallstedt. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywithtalkshockey.blogspot.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at hockeywith777. With NHL players back to the Olympics for the first time since 2014, Sweden's roster depth is stronger than in the recent Olympic cycles. Sweden enters the 2026 Winter Olympics as serious medal contenders, but not outright favorites. Their roster blends elite NHL stars with rising young talent, giving them a balanced roster that could challenge Canada and the USA if their goaltending holds strong. More likely, they're positioned for a semifinal berth and a strong chance at silver or bronze. In my next podcast, I'll be predicting Finland's 2026 Olympic roster.